Welcome everyone. Once again, we are back. We just had that rain spoiling everything for us, but we are back once again. I'm glad. And we are getting a very good look of the Juneau A special livery. How good is that? Right? Look at that. Wonderful. I hope you all are having a great time. Yes, we had to get back after all this crazy thing happening. So yes, we had to discontinue the previous stream and come back again because of the very fact that things were not working right. But I do believe now we should be all good. So how is everyone doing? Yes, you all know that we had to discontinue and come back again because of the rain. So hopefully you all don't mind much. Yes, we are back once again, but maybe if it rains this time, we might as well just be out of action because we already had to discontinue the stream once. But hopefully we don't have to do it. Bad that we did miss out on, not really missed out, but we did miss out on one of the Cathay Pacific A350 coming in for us. So yes, here we are. But what's the star of the show? Juneau A, the special livery. I hope we are going to get a good view of the Juneau A's special livery out there. We should be able to see it taxi soon. And thank you very much all for joining us once again. Apologies, yes, we had to end the stream for the very fact that it started raining just for about a minute. How bad was that, right? But I'm glad we can still stream. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Hello, Sarah. Hello. Sarah Wallace Aviation. Hello. I hope you're having a great time up there on the Sunshine Coast. Yeah, we do not have sunshine out here. We are just having a bit of a rainy day sort of a thing. It was just supposed to be cloudy and not raining, but sadly we did get some rain and we had to discontinue our stream. But I'm glad, you know, it didn't rain too much. So hopefully everything is going to go well now onwards. Let us see. We can only hope everything goes well. So yes, let us get that departure out now. Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us on our stream. As you all know, we had issues with the rain and we had to discontinue. Sadly, we had to discontinue because we are using those high capacity power banks, and those power banks could probably almost always cause an issue out here in terms of fire. So we've got to be extra careful with that. Otherwise, we are totally good to go. You know, it's like no stress whatsoever. So thank you very much everyone for joining us. Apologies, we did lose all of the viewers who were there. I think we had about quite a lot of them out here watching us, but no stress. At least we have not missed out on any of the special liveries. So there you are. Let's go for the first special livery departure of the day. That is Juneao Air's Oriental Ruby livery. HO1670. How beautiful does this look? Very nice, very nice. Yeah, whilst we are not too pleased with what happened in terms of the rain and stuff like that, we are still happy that we did get the Juneao Air special livery out there. So that's wonderful. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your presence. Hello everyone, welcome back. We hope you all are having a great start to the day, a great start to Saturday. In fact, thank you very much. We were streaming earlier today, but we had to disconnect the previous stream because it started raining. And as you all know, we use high capacity power banks for our marathon streams. We usually stream for a minimum of 6 hours or so. Sadly, that was not the case today. Of course, you know, this one does add up to the previous two, but the very fact that you know, things can go a bit too crazy out here with the weather is something that really disappointed us. But I'm at least glad it was not too much of a thing, as well as we just got back in time for the stream once again, considering the fact that we could capture Juneao Air Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner with the Oriental Ruby livery. So yes, all in all, great one for us. Pretty sad that we still couldn't get the whole stream as one video, because you know, a lot of our viewers, they do love seeing that and you know, get that good view of planes. But yeah, we didn't miss out much though during the rain. It's just that we missed out on one A350-900 arrival of Cathay Pacific, but apart from that, not much. And here we have Korean Air to Seoul Incheon with the new livery on the Boeing 787-10. Okay, that's wonderful. Yeah, Virgin Australia. I wish we could have continued that stream, everyone. For those of you just joining us, just want to let you know that we were streaming earlier today and everything was going well until it started drizzling and we had water all over our power bank. And as you all know, since we usually stream from the airport, we couldn't be risking a fire as such. And that is the reason we had to end the stream. But sadly, soon after that, it seems to be the rain just died down. It was just a few drizzles here and there, a few drops but yeah, we did miss out on quite a bit. But anyway, we do have quite a lot of action coming later in the day, so hopefully everything should go well. All right, Sydney to Perth service on the Boeing 737-800. Yep, lovely, super lovely. Let us zoom out a bit and have a look. Yeah, when we zoom out, it seems to be a clear day, but as we zoom in, then we do get to know there's a bit of that hazy, smoky hazy thing out there. But regardless, as long as the weather is good, we already got affected by the weather once with that rain coming through, and then, we having to disconnect our stuff, but hopefully not again. Melbourne to Sydney service, JQ 502. Yeah, we are getting some good clarity as such, especially considering the fact, like I mentioned earlier in the stream as well, prior to the rain, that there's no sunlight. So that means we don't have the silhouette as such. Anyway, how is everyone doing? I hope you all are having a great start to the day and a lovely weekend in all. Yeah. How is everyone doing? Right, we should be getting more of that action. We'll be getting a lot of the departure action. We just got Juneao a couple of minutes ago, I would say, but there is quite a lot more action that has to come out here, and we will be streaming all of it. Yeah, it was a bit of a letdown for us that we had to discontinue the previous stream because of the rain, but I'm glad we could start it soon once again, and at least we didn't pack up all together. We left our tripod and a few other things out there, so we are quite lucky in that sense, I would say. All right, at this current moment, at this very moment, we do have a bit of a lull, no doubt about that. But stay tuned with us, everyone. Stay tuned. We will be having all of that action coming shortly. As you all know, Sydney Airport usually has that lull. We had another lull at just slightly before 7 this morning as well, after the first arrival peak. So let us see how everything works out. Hopefully it should be good to go for us in the next few minutes. We do have Sydney to Shenzhen service, China Southern Airlines Airbus A330-300 that has just pushed back from the gate, and we should be able to get that one shortly. So stay tuned with us, guys and girls. We'll just try getting a bit warmer. Let's wear a puffer jacket because it's blowing a bit. So that's the reason it's causing the wind to be a bit more colder than what we would have expected it to be. Hello everyone, hello, welcome back. We are so sorry we had to discontinue the stream, so sorry about that. But as you all know, we had to discontinue because the rain just caught on us out of nowhere. Oh, we missed out, but not really. Yeah, China Eastern Airlines. From Shanghai. And then we have China Southern Airlines on the side. Wow, lovely. Two national rivals. Yep, that is what we look at. Nice plane, Airbus A330-300 on its way to runway 34L before it departs to Shenzhen. Hello Haps, hello Haps, wishing you a very good morning. How are you doing, Haps? How's your recovery going? I hope you're having a great time, hoping everything is well. Hoping your recovery is going much better, that you have no pain. Are you back home from the hospital? Have you been discharged yet by the doctors? Hoping everything's working well for you, Haps. You know, one of the issues with the stream this way that happens when you have usually adverse weather and then you have to discontinue and come back, like how we come back now, is the setup. We had a lovely setup this morning. We spent some great time, but yeah, seems to be a bit off compared to what we would have usually expected it to be. Now, no complaints with that, but you know, we do take quite some time to prepare for our live streams, and the very fact that the rain came in there, yeah, may have made a bit of a thing. But anyway, QF 6026 Melbourne to Sydney service 787-9 Dreamliner off Qantas. Let's have a look. Wow, thought that thrust reversers would be off, but they're still using it, maybe just at idle. Yeah, that was a wonderful landing, and now let's capture the departure of the Shenzhen service. Alrighty, CZ3072, built in September of 2017, Shenzhen to Sydney, Sydney to Shenzhen service on China Southern A330-300. Yep, oh, wonderful, super wonderful. And sadly guys, it has begun to rain again. We are again having these raindrops. I don't really know whether we should continue the stream now at this very moment or just leave it all together. If we leave it, that's going to be the end, and I don't think we will be starting the stream again, sadly. So yeah, if we don't, then please don't worry, we will be coming back tomorrow once again for another stream, or maybe tonight, just for the very fact that today we can't really do much. So let us hope we can do come tonight. Yeah, now the Dash 8-400. Okay, they're keeping the nose gear up for quite some time, and that's a touchdown. Okay, so does seem to be quite a lull. Sadly, we are not too sure with the rain what's happening, so hopefully the rain just dies down, and we can have a good view of the aircraft and everything all across. But at this very moment, that doesn't seem to be the case whatsoever. Here we have two high capacity power banks. That is the first thing that we need to get out of the water in case it gets a bit crazy, which it already has. We have already discontinued our stream for once, and we don't want to discontinue it again, because coming back every time, joining the stream and stuff like that could be a bit of an issue for everyone watching us as well. So let us see, hopefully it is not much stress for any of you and us, right? Because we want to bring all of that visuals, but if it doesn't really allow us in terms of the rain, in terms of the weather, like I've always said, weather permitting, we are ready to do whatever we can, but the weather, when it plays up like just how it has done today, we had to discontinue our first stream and then come back again, and then the second one, yes, again it started to rain. So yeah, that's an issue. But anyway, welcome everyone joining us on our live stream. We hope you're having a great start to Saturday. We hope to actually stream from you all morning long, but if it does rain again, we will be ending the stream, packing up and going back home. yeah, we can't get the plane action as of now because there are no planes landing and taking off, but at least we get this. But yeah, that is just one of the things that we usually capture on our channel. But then the main aim is always aviation, and that's why we are here. So hoping everything goes well with all of you. Oh, so Haps, how are you? How is everything? Hopefully you're having a great weekend, and hopefully you're already home. Alrighty, the sun is out, and that makes us quite happy, in fact, because we won't have to, go back home. Hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully, we can just hope. We cannot say anything else. Hey Bob, hello. G'day from Scotland. Coming midnight here. Wow. So it's midnight out there. Wow. So I hope you've had a great Friday, Bob. I hope you've had a great, awesome Friday out there. Hoping it's getting nice and warmer out there in Scotland at this very moment. Over here it is supposed to be almost the start of winter, 2nd of May 2026, 8:58 a.m. as we speak, Bob. But then at the same time, it's not as cold as it usually gets out here in Sydney. Okay, what do we have there? I believe it's a go-around, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it has to be a go-around. Has to be a go-around because Virgin Australia has just taken off out there. So definitely the runway wasn't too clear for Qantas. But yeah, Bob, so we were having a chat with you. So how is everything going with you and your family? Hoping you're having a great start to the weekend. It's Friday out there, start of Saturday. Hoping you're going to have a great, awesome weekend, going to meet family, friends, relatives. What's your plan? Hoping, you're having a super great time and enjoying that awesome weather. Summer coming around for all of you, so stay nice and cool when summer does arrive. And Bob, thank you very much for joining us on our stream. In fact, this is the second live stream of the day. We had to discontinue the stream for about 5 minutes because it started raining, and we didn't want any fire issues considering the fact we use very high capacity power banks out here. Because we usually have marathon live streams. We have streams for about 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, and that's our usual stuff. Of course, we do plan to break that record and cross all limits when we go to Tokyo Haneda later this year. We do plan to have streams of about 9 hours odd. So let us see how that one works for us, in fact. So yeah, Bob does say we are coming up to summer. Weather has been nice and sunny. I'm so pleased to know that, Bob. Thank you very much. Thanks for letting us know. And yes, I would only imagine what Scotland looks like during summer and just the time before summer. It's always good to get those great visuals out there. I've never really been to Scotland, Bob, but I've only ever seen it on TV and YouTube as such. But anyway, I do hope yeah, you have a great time. Yes, Bob, batteries and rain do not mix, definitely. And considering we are so close to the airport and airport security, they keep patrolling this area all the time. They just had their last patrol about 3 minutes ago, and yeah, we did see them. And they are quite nice. They are quite kind and polite. They don't really bother you unless they feel that someone's up to no good, and they know us quite well now at this very stage because we've been here for quite some time and have been coming here for months together, so they do know that. But definitely if your batteries catch fire, no matter how good you are, you're always going to be seen with a suspicious eye. And yeah, accidents do happen, but I just don't want to get on the bad side of anyone, especially airport security. So yeah, that is correct, Bob. batteries and rain don't mix, and that is the reason we had to discontinue the stream. So we just discontinued our stream, disconnected the batteries and put it into the car. And then the moment we put it into the car, the rain just died down, and then we came back and connected the batteries once again. But luckily we didn't miss out on the aircraft, because we came here for Juneyao Air special livery, the Oriental Ruby livery, and luckily the moment we connected and started the stream, we happened to get Juneyao Air taxiing to runway 34L, and then we also captured its takeoff. We did miss out on Cathay Pacific's A350-900 in the usual livery, but we are waiting for Sonic, the Hedgehog livery of Air Asia X. It should be departing later today, so hopefully that one works out quite well. Yes, Bob, I totally agree with you. Better to be safe than sorry. In that sense, totally. It's always good to be safe, because it did make us a bit sad that we had to discontinue the stream, and we had quite an active chat out there. And probably if you were part of the first stream, you would have seen there were quite a lot of people just messaging us and sharing stuff. But that's okay. They'll come back slowly and steadily. But the thing about setting up a tripod and all the equipment for a marathon live stream does take quite an effort. So yeah, and the very fact that today we had those special liveries made us a bit more sad, thinking that, oh, come on, we didn't even carry our camera just to film it, because we had planned it's only going to be a live stream, so we didn't carry the other stuff. But anyway, all good with it. Better to be safe than sorry, as long as we are good and safe in the eyes of the airport security. Who's going to complain? Not us, not you, and not anyone else too, right? Because I do believe we all want to be safe. We all want to be nice and free of trouble and things like that. So yeah, it does make quite a lot of sense for everyone. So pretty happy. Yeah. All right, QF60 Tokyo Haneda to Sydney on the Airbus A330-300 of Qantas. We are always happy to get that. Alright, so that's a Tokyo Haneda service that's arriving. Let us pan very fast. This is a Tokyo Haneda service JL52 on the Boeing 777-300ER. So two Haneda services right there. One that comes in from Tokyo Haneda, one that goes to Tokyo Haneda. Let us check that landing. Alright, got a bit of smoke, not much. Alrighty, that is done, and now let us go back to this service, Japan Airlines Tokyo Haneda service JL52, one of the services of today. In fact, one of the very many services of today, I would say. This is the first morning service to Haneda, then we will have another service to Haneda by Qantas, then we will have another service to Haneda, Tokyo Haneda by All Nippon Airways. So there's quite a bit coming up there. Well, we just need to wait and watch. Yes, I do think we should be getting some more action very soon. There's quite a lot of that departure action that is going to work out sooner or later, so let us see. Alright everyone, welcome to everyone joining us on a live stream. As you all know, we've been streaming from way early in the morning, just before 6. We had to discontinue one of our streams because of the rain. However, we are back once again. It's 9:06 a.m. on Saturday, 2nd of May 2026. It's been wonderful. Hey Bob, yes, seriously. So, the thing is, these runways were extended into the sea, I think way back in the early 80s. So you can see they do have a height to it. But if you look around, there's a beach out here. Usually on a nice hot summer day, you'll see us filming, and there'll be quite a lot of people out there enjoying in the water. Even this morning there were a couple of them, but the water would be quite a bit cold. But then, that's on a lower level, and then we have this road and the retaining wall. So if you look at this retaining wall, if you look on the other side, the water is quite low. So this wall happens to be quite high, and then we are here on the road actually. So the thing is, yes, we are literally at the same height, but of course we are quite zoomed in with our camera as such, to get this awesome view of the planes. All right, Hong Kong Airlines. Well, no prizes for guessing from where Hong Kong Airlines has come from, okay? No prizes for guessing. But I do know you all are very, very curious to see the Sonic the Hedgehog livery to Kuala Lumpur service later today, so we will be getting that for you all. But yeah, for now, let us make do with Hong Kong Airlines Airbus A330. All right, let us get ready for Tokyo Haneda service out there. How many of you have heard about the robots that will be deployed at Tokyo Haneda Airport starting this month, that is May 2026. There'll be these robots that will be doing some of the work that the ground handlers usually perform at Tokyo. Of course, they will be needing charging every 3 to 4 hours or so. But it's a great initiative to see, but I do see the concern where a lot of people feel that they may lose their jobs. So that is another thing that will have to be taken into consideration, I believe. How good was that? Super lovely, right? As always, amazing. Okay, so Bob says, I wonder what happens if a robot loses your luggage. Yeah, we don't really know. Yeah, but Bob, you say you like the Hong Kong livery. It is elegant. I'm telling you, Bob, you're spot on. You have hit the nail on the spot. Actually, today is a bit of a cloudy day out here in Sydney, but usually on a very nice and sunny day, you will able to see Hong Kong Airlines. They literally shine in the nice Sydney summer sun. So hopefully maybe tomorrow when we stream, if it's a nice and sunny day, you may able to get a look. But if even tomorrow is about the same like today, a cloudy day, then maybe you'll able to have a look one of the other days, maybe next weekend or something. And because next weekend is indeed going to be a sunny day, so maybe next weekend you may able to get a better look of Hong Kong Airlines. As the sun shines on that livery, it really looks awesome. Very, very nice. And as we see on screen, this is T-Way from Seoul Incheon. Yeah, that is nice. It's nice that we could capture T-Way as well. I do love T-Way's livery for some reason, probably just so elegant and so quiet sort of a thing. So that's why. Yeah, Bob, but I don't really know what would happen if the robot is going to lose your luggage. What really could happen? I would only think that probably they're just going to bang your luggage up to somewhere in one of those luggage carts, just like how we see humans doing that. But definitely not in Tokyo, anyway, in Japan, I believe, because the Japanese seem to be so much more polite than anywhere else on Earth. If you do see one of our YouTube short videos, I think from earlier this year, we did have one of the YouTube shorts where we filmed on a flight from Mumbai to Singapore onwards to Sydney, and those ground handlers literally like threw the bag inside that luggage cart, okay? So yeah, there is quite a lot of that things happening, and rightly so. I do know a lot of the people would come in support of the ground handlers as such, because they lift about more than 1,000 bags a day, and that is rightly so. Because we've got to be fair to everyone, and understanding to them as well. So yeah, we wouldn't be blaming them, but definitely I think in terms of technology and things like that, there could have been something better, or perhaps something could have been developed for these luggage handlers, considering the fact that aviation is an industry that's never really going to die down as long as we have that fuel, as long as we have new things coming up. Now there's sustainable aviation fuel, the blended one with ethanol and all that thing, and you never know, technology is moving so fast. There could of course be a lot more things coming. Bob, as we speak, you've never seen T-Way. Is that Aussie? Nope, it's not Aussie. It's a Korean airline. It's a Korean airline. So yeah, it does fly from Seoul Incheon every other day, I believe. There have been times when I have been streaming out here and I've not seen T-Way, so I do believe that it's not an everyday service, but I think every other day it is out here. But no, it's not an Aussie service, it's a Korean one. Even the aircraft are registered in Korea, and that gives it away, especially with the registration which starts with HL and things like that. So yeah, Bob, what I was saying is definitely there could have been more of the resources allocated to development of having this luggages being put into the cart and things like that, because I do see where the capital is being used, and that's one of the darker sides of aviation, if I may. Okay, and that's one of those darker sides of aviation where the baggage handlers are not paid as much as the other staff as well in the first place, and then they've got some pretty labor intensive job as such. Yeah, quite a lot of injuries out there and all those things. So yeah, my true respect to everyone and all that, but definitely I would want to see a lot of these airlines, a lot of the airports dedicating some of those resources to making their job a bit better. We can always complain that we saw this person and that person at this airport and that airport throwing the luggage, hitting it hard here and there. Yes, they do it. Yes, we all know it. It's not that no one knows it, we all know it. But yeah, at the same time, if we have to be fair, we also understand that luggage handlers have it tough out there, right? So yeah, definitely we would want to see more of it. Oh yes, Bob, but that is the thing, so usually with corporations and big companies, what happens is that's what they say, that we will be having the robots to assist and this and that, but then eventually what happens is a totally different thing. So hopefully that's not the case in Tokyo Haneda with robots coming in. Yes, it definitely is going to assist one of those overworked airport ground handlers, because we do know the ones at Tokyo Haneda are very overworked, and hopefully we can see their workload decrease a bit with those robots. But definitely you cannot replace those robots with humans out there, or perhaps I believe in any other airport, at least for now or for the foreseeable future, because robots have got to prove themselves. Any technology has got to prove itself, right? So it's going to take a while for all of those things, but I do believe that the robots will, for the time being at least, make life a lot easier for the humans out there. Hopefully when we do go plane spotting later this year to Tokyo Haneda, we have been to Tokyo Haneda earlier this year as well, and we did film quite a bit from Terminal 3 on the observation deck. And this is another Tokyo Haneda service, ANA, All Nippon Airways. We will be capturing this one. Usually ANA, All Nippon Airways, this aircraft is usually the one to close off the morning peak departures. Okay, when I say close off the morning peak departures, this is the one which usually ends with all of that departure crowd and craziness, but that doesn't mean that it's the end of the departures. Even after ANA's departure, there are a few here and there, but not to the peak level of it. But yeah, what I was saying, Bob, is we do need that robots, but yeah, it seems to be for time being it's going to be a good one. But hopefully, that is how it goes. And you know, there's no hidden intention of big corporations and companies behind. Oh yes, Bob. Actually, there's none in the UK or I believe anywhere else in the world. I did see that in Hong Kong you have those automatic people mover buses and those automatic luggage movers as such, but not robots. I do believe that it's just going to start off now almost everywhere else in the world, to give it a maybe a year or two, and probably we will see some sort of robots in one way or the other that does come and, you know, try making life a bit easier for people. And hopefully that's the case, not, you know, replacing jobs sort of a thing, because everyone has a job. You know, everyone would want to have their job, not lose it to a robot, not lose it to AI. And you know, that's a totally different topic for another you know, discussion altogether. But yeah, the thing is, in aviation, we've got to make life a bit more simpler. And like you said, manual labor is taken for granted anywhere in the world. Okay, I have seen videos from London Heathrow Airport. I have seen videos here at Sydney Airport. I have seen myself here at Sydney Airport. I have seen myself at Dubai Airport, Mumbai, Hong Kong back in 2020. So I have seen it in Singapore, Changi, at Singapore Changi Airport. So yes, manual labor is taken for granted. But yeah, I do wish, you know, people can be a bit more considerate towards the luggage handlers, the ground handlers, because you know, it's quite a thing. And hopefully we can actually, you know, get a nice solution out of there. Maybe yeah, robots will help quite a bit, but for the ground handlers, for the ones that do carry your luggage from the terminal, put it into that luggage cart, and then, you know, load one by one into a plane. And I don't know how many planes they serve throughout the day. It's quite a thing, you know. So I do hope that we can actually have some technology in that regard too. Alrighty, what do we have? It is a smoky, hazy day here in Sydney. Cloudy day is different, but having that smoky, hazy day is another thing altogether. It does cause quite a bit of issues. Alright, we do have American Airlines just taxiing across. AA72 Sydney to Los Angeles service. Alright, it's going to make its way for the Boeing 737. Definitely the 737 does not have as much of a wake turbulence as a 777, so that's why they will just allow the 737 to go first. Alright, it's getting nice and sunny, and the sun is hitting our left side of the face. And whilst we spot American, we have 5J39 coming in from Manila, that is Cebu Pacific. We will capture it shortly. Let us get a hat and our coverings for our face from the car. Alrighty, Cebu Pacific. Didn't see much of smoke. Hopefully there was, but probably we may have just missed out on it. Yeah, lovely. We will be capturing Cebu Pacific when it makes its way back to Manila later today. Of course, one of the morning departures as well. The Cebu Pacific flight that we saw is a brand new one, just delivered in June of 2025. It's less than a year old. How good is that, right? Yes, Bob, definitely. The 777 is on most people's favorite list. I enjoy traveling on a 777. Usually when I travel between Singapore and Sydney, I usually prefer traveling on SQ211, which is a morning flight from Singapore and reaches your Sydney in the evening, and then it stays overnight here at Sydney, and the next morning it departs. We just captured the SQ211 departing to 212 departing to Singapore Changi earlier today. That's on the previous stream, and yeah, like I said, we had to discontinue the stream because of the fire risk actually. Alright, what you see on screen, Sydney to Bengaluru service with the One World livery. I've always mentioned that most of the Bengaluru services almost always have the One World livery, and rightly so yet again today. Now the thing is, this is an Airbus A330-200, which is not an issue per se, but if you all may have read the news or heard the news yesterday, Qantas is considering discontinuing the Sydney to Bengaluru service temporarily until about October. I think they discontinued the service from August, if I'm not wrong, but I could be wrong about that because I totally forgot. But I do know that they are discontinuing the service temporarily until about October, and that is because Qantas estimates its fuel bill to be about $800 million because the high fuel cost and all those things. But yeah, what can you do, right? What can you do in such a case? I do believe that Sydney to Bengaluru service is one of the services that has quite a high patronage out there, and I do know that Qantas wants to expand even much more into India. So yeah, definitely it's going to be a tough decision for them to reduce that cost. Of course, they can offset some of those costs, especially with their European routes, considering the fact that Sydney, especially Perth to Rome, is one of the more popular options out there, and they earn quite a bit. So yeah, definitely they are trying to offset some of the costs there with higher ticket prices, but the Indian market is very price sensitive, as you all know, and it's not even easy to compete with in the Indian market, considering the fact that Singapore Airlines has a very strong hold out there. So Singapore Airlines really has good connections at Singapore too. So we all know what Singapore Airlines does. They do fly quite a bit all across India and get the connecting passengers from Singapore Changi onwards to Sydney. So yeah, it would be a very tough decision for Qantas to make at this time of the year, during this time of the global fuel crisis and things like that. But yeah, it seems to be getting better, but not we are totally not out of the thing, right? We still have quite a bit of work to do with the fuel side of it. So yeah, hopefully everything sorts out itself and things can get better. Alright, what do we see on screen? Delta Airways or Delta Airlines. Airbus A350-900 to Los Angeles. Flight DL40. Let us look at this. American Airlines Boeing 777-300ER to Los Angeles. On screen we have now two American rivals. Lovely, that was lovely. But what do we see here? VHOZP, Qantas's retro livery. Hopefully they can come in this side for departure. We've captured that quite many times. Sorry, did I say OZP? It's XZP, VHXZP. Yes, and hopefully we can capture it on this side of the airport. When it comes to this side, it's going to be lovely. We'll get a nice view of it, but if not, that's totally fine. We've captured it before. Hopefully we can get another look at it someday later. Yeah, there's quite a lot of action happening out there. Okay, there's the Bengaluru service waiting for departure. We have Melbourne to Sydney service coming on Jetstar JQ504 on the Airbus A320, and then we have Delta DL40. Whilst that is there, let us just capture the touchdown and then we'll shift our attention to Malaysia Airlines on the Airbus A330-900. Alright, that was a smooth touchdown, and we will go to Malaysia Airlines. The A330-900. Mind you, it's a brand new aircraft. Okay, we will just shift our attention now to Qantas's One World livery, the service to Bengaluru, India. Yes, Bob, lot of airlines are suspending flights with costs here and here. I hope they do not last long. Over here as well in Sydney, we've seen quite a change. You know, usually when we stream out here early morning, we would have quite a lot of the airlines coming in from the Middle East, especially the Arabic brothers, that is Etihad Airways, Qatar Airways and Emirates. Now Emirates still does fly, but you know, Emirates reduced its capacity, in fact cancelled one of their flights, EK414. That's the night arrival out here. But yesterday, for the first time in as many months since the war started, we had EK414 come into Sydney and depart from Sydney as EK415 this morning at 6 o'clock. Now usually that aircraft used to be on an Airbus A380, but yesterday it came as a Boeing 777, and we do believe that the Boeing 777 is going to be here for quite a considerable time. Okay, we do believe it's going to be until about, let's say, June, July or something, or maybe even much more later. I don't know. I think a lot of other technical aviation enthusiasts would know better, so please comment and let us know. And the thing is, with the Boeing 777 of Emirates, we were not expecting to see it after I believe November of 2021, because in 2021, when the Australian borders did open up after the COVID lockdown, all of Emirates services were changed to an Airbus A380. Regardless of which aircraft you take, they were always on an Airbus A380. But yeah, not this one. We do have the A380 arrival later on, which is as such, but not this one. So yeah, I'm glad to see it's working, but yeah, hopefully we do have more of those services. Then we do have one service that arrives about 6 o'clock in the evening. That's totally discontinued for now. We used to have Qatar Airways come in with an Airbus A380 in the evening. That's changed to an Airbus A350. Etihad Airways, we used to have one arrival in the morning. That's totally discontinued for now. And yeah, so you see there's quite a lot of that action we have been missing in the morning as well as in the evening. So the Arabic brothers, the Middle East, yes, and you know, they are at the center of the war as such. So yeah, and because of that, it has affected not only the Arabic airlines but all other airlines too. So we do hope everything gets better sooner than later. Of course, you know, comparing the airlines, we've had some crazy fuel prices out here in Australia. So yeah, it's quite a bit of a thing. This morning we just fueled up our car. We were surprised with the fuel prices, but not as surprised as we were with the fuel prices just in the month of April, when it was much more worse. Delta Airlines DL40 to Los Angeles. Lovely. Right, let's capture Jetstar's new livery out there. We don't get a really good view at this very moment because the sun is out, and that does mean it is still a silhouette sort of effect. But usually if we are on the other side of the airport, we get a very good view. Of course, we will be doing one of those videos maybe later on in the year from that side. We usually prefer not doing it. So what I'm talking about is this place, and many of you watching the stream will know the place exactly at the base of the ATC tower. It is called Shep's Mound, and it gets quite crowded on weekends, very early morning, even before the first departure and arrival. And that is for the very fact because you get a very up close view of the planes from there. You can see the terminal, you can see the planes taxiing, like the ones we just saw, the ones usually taxiing to runway 34 right. The further off runway out here at Sydney Airport, the one closer in the foreground of the screen is 34L. So these ones, they do not taxi so close to Shep's Mound, but you see that plane that is on 34R, it is just taking off. And when the planes taxi to that runway, you can get a very good view of the plane. So that's why people prefer it there. Even I prefer it there. However, it seems to be getting quite a lot of crowd, and you know that will affect our live stream negatively, and that is the reason why we prefer streaming from here. And another reason why we prefer streaming from here is usually when runway 34 is in operation, like as of now, you see we capture the start of the takeoff roll. That is something that you don't get over there. Usually you will just get the rotations out over there, but that's it. But another issue is, you know, there's always positives and negatives at different times of the day and stuff like that. Now the thing is, let's just say the runway 16 is being used, so then you'll be able to get a very good view of the aircraft taxiing to runway 16 and starting off their takeoff roll, and you get a good rotation view as well if the aircrafts do rotate around, just around the base of the ATC. So, you know, it's a win-win. It's a plus point, a negative point here and there based on different times and situations of the day. But when it's runway 25, which is on the east-west runway, which is literally looking the way we are looking forward, that is runway 25, that is the time when you don't really get much views whatsoever. So, you know, at that time you just need to go to one of the parking buildings and stuff like that, which can work out to be quite expensive. Alright, Bob says, I have a friend who's been stuck in Australia for many weeks due to this. I don't feel sorry for her. Oh, okay. So Bob says, I don't feel sorry for her having to enjoy the weather. I was like, oh, what? Really? Like, why does Bob not feel sorry for someone being stuck? But then I read it well, and then I see, okay, so Bob's not feeling sorry for her for having to enjoy the weather. I mean, yeah, come on, Bob. We totally agree with you. It's like, yeah, sunny weather, this and that, yeah, all good. And I do hope, you know, your friend's doing quite well, Bob. Where is your friend off to? Is she off to somewhere in the Middle East, or perhaps maybe off to anywhere in Europe via the Middle East? Maybe that's one of the things. But yeah, I can totally get it. You know, when you're stuck around, it could be a sort of an issue. But hopefully your friend is able to get out of Australia soon and travel to wherever she has to. Yeah, Dash 8-400. Always good to get those Dash 8-400s out here. Bob says, all filming locations have pros and cons. Indeed, Bob. Yes, indeed. And I totally agree with you. Bob, as we just pan around, you see that is Botany Bay, where all the international shipping containers come in. Whoa! What's that? DHL. Wow, nice and noisy. And we have Asiana Airlines OZ602. Once again with the Boeing 777-200ER. Usually it's going to be an Airbus A380 during summertime. So let us wait for October to come out here. I can smell the aviation fuel. I wish YouTube had that feature, or perhaps we had the technology. Wow. Wow. Feels so good smelling that aviation fuel. Lovely. I would love to smell that aviation fuel so much. Alright, let us capture some mischief out here with these birds. Alright, Bob says she's in Perth and she finally managed to get a flight back to UK via Singapore. Expensive though. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Bob. I totally agree. It would be an expensive proposition at this very point in time, actually, considering the fact that there's not many of the things that you could do. Usually if you're not traveling via Dubai, you're not transiting via Dubai or Doha in Qatar or Abu Dhabi in the UAE, you would be considering some other options like transiting at Kuala Lumpur or Singapore. Singapore, of course, the transit king out there. You're in Southeast Asia, so I totally get it. It's quite expensive actually at this very stage, for the very fact that the fuel prices are high, and then the demand is so much, but the planes to satisfy the demand is hardly anything. So you see, that's the thing. We always speak about rival airlines and all, but apart from being rivals, I think each of those airlines does contribute, and we see each of that contribution as a complementary thing to other airlines and to the whole demand as such. Another, Malaysia Airlines Airbus A330-900. I am glad we can capture another one for the second time on the stream. Airbus A330-900 of Malaysia Airlines from Kuala Lumpur. Alright, very shortly we'll have Air Canada AC-34 to Vancouver taxiing. We'll just leave it as such. It should be here anytime soon because it has already started its taxi roll from the terminal. We are, however, waiting for the service to Kuala Lumpur on. Whoa, we already have that. Okay, yeah, we are already waiting for the service for Asia because there's a special livery out there for us to enjoy, and that was one of our themes of today. So let us see how everything goes. Hopefully we can capture it. I'm glad the risk of the rain has gone away because now it's nice and sunny. Okay, meanwhile, let us capture the takeoff roll. Whoa! Wow! How beautiful was that? We least expected a rotation out there on the Boeing 777. Not lovely. I am pretty much guessing they would have been quite light, I guess, today. So that's the reason. Usually we don't happen to get it that light. Alright, the bird just playing some mischief and we are just having a look at them for now. But let's get back to work. Melbourne to Sydney, VA823. And whilst we discuss all of this, wishing everyone a very warm welcome to this live stream today. I know many of you were on our previous live stream, but as you all know, we had to discontinue the live stream all of a sudden because of the rain, but we are here back again. It's been nice streaming, and we did capture the special livery. But we do have one more special livery that is yet to come, and that is the Sonic the Hedgehog livery of AirAsia X. So not too long before we get that one, but let us see how things work out. We do need the sun and the clouds to play their games quite well, else we may be in another issue. All right, Canada out there. Sydney to Vancouver service. Alrighty, lined up on the runway, AC-34, Sydney to Vancouver on the Boeing 777-200 LR, long range, not ER but LR. Built in the year January 2008, an 18-year-old Boeing 777. Let's capture the engines pulling up. That was wonderful. We had some great sounds and everything else too. A great visual of Air Canada AC-34 taking off for its flight to Vancouver. visibility. What do we have here? Qantas 737 just taxiing to runway 34. That is QF19 Sydney to Tonga Tipu service. It's something new that I've seen. Never seen this one before. The Canberra service on Link Airways Saab 340B Plus, Canberra to Sydney. Yeah, 2 aircraft in the frame. And 3 aircraft in the frame for, I think, the 4th time on our live stream today. Alright, and as we speak, let us shift our attention to your. I wish we would see a Boeing 747 like the other day, like this past Monday. We did happen to get a Boeing 747 come in, but that's okay, no problem. We do have Singapore Airlines SQ231 coming in from Singapore, so we should get a good look of that one too. Not too long before it reaches here, maybe the next 6-7 minutes, I would say. Currently it's about 5,000 feet above the ground and speed is 269 knots. Registered as 9V SKR and built in September of 2011, so it's a 14-year-old aircraft. So I do see another 10 years of use on Singapore Airlines aircraft. Okay, now we will be taking off our puffer jacket because it's getting warmer. What a pain with the weather, you know. This morning it caused us to discontinue our stream, and then we continue it like 5 minutes later. Then it starts blowing and makes the weather so cold for us, and now it's getting warmer. But yeah, what can you do? That's part and parcel of Sydney weather, I believe. I'm not complaining, mates. I'm not complaining. I'm just talking about Sydney's weather. So yes, let us see what the next heavy departure, the next heavy arrival. Yeah, the next heavy arrival does seem to be the A380 of Singapore Airlines. Meanwhile, we do see some action out there. Let's capture this takeoff of the Boeing 737. Yes, it was wonderful. Do we see anything out here? Nope. We do see a Saab. Yeah, so probably we will capture that one. So Sydney to Canberra service yet again on Link Airways. Saab 340B Plus, registered as VHVEQ. And August of 97 is when it was built. Wow, that's a 28-year-old aircraft. Alright, I'm pretty sure we are not getting the rotation for this one, but definitely we are filming the takeoff roll. Alrighty. That was a good one, but a very short takeoff roll for us at least. Definitely it's going to be a pretty long takeoff roll for them anyway, but the fact that they don't need as much of the runway as a very heavy aircraft, that does make sense. So yeah, what I meant to say is that does make sense that they don't go to the very base, to the very base of, not the very base, to the very start of runway 34. Hey Sinal, wow, that's a lot, quite a lot. Yes, lovely, lovely. Hey Ozplanes, hello, Ozplanes. I've been a big subscriber of yours for quite some time now. Ozplanes, thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for joining us on a live stream, and thank you. You're doing an awesome job, mates. You're doing a pretty awesome job, I would say, especially with last week's stream. I do believe even you were around at this place last week as we were streaming, because as I went home and I checked videos online, I did see that even you were streaming on the very same day, the very same planes that we were streaming. So yeah, I've been a long time subscriber of yours, Ozplanes, and I'm pretty stoked with the work you do. Really appreciate it, mates. I hope you have a great one, and wishing you all the very best, and I hope to see a lot more of your videos as well, Ozplanes. Good luck, and yes, I hope to see your next live stream and videos from you as well. Thank you very much, Ozplanes. And yes, we are excited for Sonic the Hedgehog out here. We did capture Sonic the Hedgehog arriving, as well as the Oriental Ruby livery arriving on Juneyao Air this morning. And yeah, right now is the time for the prize. We will always take the prize and go back home after, because that's what we came for. So yeah, Ozplanes, thank you very much for letting us know and let us get a very good view of it. Of course, earlier this morning when this livery arrived, we didn't get the best of the view, considering the fact that it was so dark. The sunrise is quite late in the morning, but now is the time. Aha, Sonic the Hedgehog livery. How good is that? Indeed, love it. I love it. I'm pretty sure a lot of you would be loving this livery, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would love to capture this awesome livery out here on AirAsia. I never really expected AirAsia to be having a livery in the first place. That is not something I expected. That is not something I even checked for this morning. For the liveries, of course, I didn't check it this morning, but yesterday early evening is when I checked for special liveries arriving, and all I knew is Juneyao Air coming in with its Oriental Ruby livery. However, late at night I did not check for any liveries, and I was totally caught off guard this morning when I see Sonic the Hedgehog livery coming here out of nowhere. So yep, it's really nice to see it. Of course, we will be capturing this one as it takes off, but let us now capture SQ231 from Singapore Changi International Airport on Singapore Airlines Airbus A380. Alright, Ozplane says to kind watching while too. Just on chat. A3 great. Oh yes, yeah, that much, but your visuals are so much better. I do believe you're using some very high grade equipment for the streams, and I mean I must give it up to you. Pretty much it would be quite a lot of that investment out there with the things and stuff like that. So yep, I do hope everything just goes well with your videos. Keep those visuals coming. It's really wonderful to see them. Here we see Singapore Airlines Airbus A380, the second A380 of Singapore Airlines that has arrived today, and we will see one of the Singapore Airlines, the first A380 aircraft that arrived earlier this morning, depart in a little over an hour and 15 minutes from now. But as you see, SQ231 with those loud thrust reversers arrived from Singapore Changi International Airport. Oh yes, so what I was saying is Oz Planes, that I do believe you have put in quite a lot of investment out there with that to get those visuals, and it's really good, as it's like a really one-off to get those close-up of planes from far off and all. It really makes quite a world of a difference. So really appreciate it, mates, that you take that much of effort, put in that much of investment, and get some really good videos. So everyone joining us on the stream, listening to us, please go have a look at Oz Planes. They have some really good visuals out there. They did stream last week about the same time, I believe, as we were streaming, because as we went home and we were watching videos of planes, we come across a live stream which showed the exact planes that we were capturing, and we were like, oh really? And then we get to know that, oh yeah, indeed, this stream just ended about a few hours ago. So yeah, that was a very, very nice one, and we do hope that you all will like Oz Planes and the visuals out there. So yeah, thanks Oz Planes once again, wishing you all the very best, and thanks for joining us on a live stream today and letting us know so much about the stuff. Yes, we do wish that A340 does come back to Sydney someday. I do recollect the day AirX A340 did come to Sydney. That was our first live stream on our channel, and for the very fact we didn't even know that there was something like that coming. All we knew is that this whole place was crowded as much as it could get, and it's only later that one of the comments did mention that an A340 was coming out here. So yeah, it was super crazy, but yeah, let's hope we get a lot of the special liveries. Sonic the Hedgehog livery just running as fast as Sonic the Hedgehog Air Asia X for all of you, the service to Kuala Lumpur. There is the rotation. Oh yes, lovely. So that is it. That was our prize for the day. Captured the departures, captured the arrivals. Are we going home? No, we aren't, but we will surely stay for more of the action later in the day. Let us see how everything works out. We do plan to capture a lot of the departures, as I mentioned earlier as well. The Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner service on all Nippon Airways to Tokyo Haneda is the absolute end of the morning peak departures. But when I say the absolute end of the morning peak departures, that doesn't mean there's no departures after that. Even after ANA, there's a bit of departures here and there, but then they don't really count as the peak, because they are literally spread out so far apart, sort of a thing. But you can never always say, because sometimes ANA happens to be so left so behind or so delayed that they usually form part of one of those separated departure slots. So you see there's quite a lot of these things happening at Sydney, but usually, I mean, for the most part of it, I would say ANA does end up finishing off the departure slots for the morning. And during summertime, we do have Singapore Airlines Airbus A380, the 12 o'clock service, which ends with the closure of the morning crazy departure slot. But like I said, similar to ANA, there's still, after that, there's still quite a lot of the departures that do take place. Now, we do have other departures and arrivals as well. We do capture domestic departures and arrivals, but we are here for quite a lot of those international ones too. Yeah. Getting rotations, filming those rotations are always an achievement for us. We feel nice, we love doing that, and it's always great. Yes, Oz Planes, that was nice early rotation, and thank you very much. Thanks Oz Planes for all the appreciation, and likewise, we would be very kind we would love to be very kind to give you as much of the appreciation and the encouragement, because your visuals are world class. out of the world, I would say, outworldly sort of a thing, because last week, like I said earlier as well, whoa, what's happening there? A Star Alliance livery of Thai Airways. Wow, that's another one. This is something we didn't expect too. Probably we didn't check. Yeah, so you see, this is the thing. What happens, we check flight radar 24 quite early on in the evening, and by then most of the airlines have not even assigned their aircraft. So yeah, we do need to start checking in quite late. But at the same time, I do know that flight radar sometimes doesn't really get much of the information too. I do see other other apps do get that information a bit earlier, but we are contributing data, we are feeding data to flight radar 24, so we just prefer sticking to that one. But yes, hey, Harrison is asking us, are you going to go? First of all, Harrison, thank you very much for joining us on our stream. We are happy to be here. This is our second stream of the day. The first stream we discontinued, and then we came back 5 minutes later because it started raining, and we wanted to avoid the risk of a fire with our high capacity batteries out here. We have 2 of them, and they could really be catching fire with a bit of that water and stuff like that. So don't really want to get into trouble for whatever reason. And yeah, so Harrison, I believe we should be here until about, I don't know, maybe 1 or maybe 12, 11:30. It just depends, but usually we try capturing all of the morning departures, and then we make move, because in the afternoon it gets a bit quieter. But you can never really say, because sometimes the departures are so spread out, there's a bit of delay. If you see, yesterday we had about 38% of departures that were delayed at Sydney Airport. So 38% is quite a big chunk, right? So yeah, that is the thing. So if there's a pretty similar number as such, we may stay until late. If not, yeah, we may make a move until after 5 for about you and for about you, and so maybe that most. But we start, if I may, would work out. So let us see, but let's be safe and say we do start at 6 o'clock when we capture the first arrivals out here at Sydney, as well as the first departures too. Okay, we have United Airlines Sydney to Los Angeles service on the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. It's a 1-year-old aircraft. November of 2024 is when it was built, registered in the United States, as expected. All right, we do see United out there. We do see an arrival. Let me pan a bit. Yeah, we can see it now. That is Hong Kong to Sydney service on the Qantas Freight. So yeah, Airbus A330-200, and it is a passenger to freight version. So let us capture that one. Hopefully we get a very good view with the sun shining right across on the plane. It was a nice and smooth landing and arrival out there. Lovely. Let us get ready for another departure, Sydney to Los Angeles, California. Hey, Oz Planes, thank you so much. Thanks for being so kind. We appreciate. Thanks for your generosity. We really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. And likewise, you know, you're too gentle and you're too kind for sending us this contribution. We really appreciate it, Oz Planes. Thank you very much. We wish you all the very best. Yes, Sinal, we do see the 787 and it is on frame right now. That's a wonderful thing for us, and you know, it's great. It's great. We love seeing this. We love seeing this. Alright, Sinal says, Sheldon, Qantas just landed on runway 34 left, A330-200. Qantas, yes, we did capture that. We did capture that. I think you may have seen it on screen too. We are now just waiting for a bit of departures and arrivals. But yeah, Oz Planes, once again, thank you very much. We appreciate your kind generosity. Thank you so very much. Thank you. I hope to see a lot more of your videos, Oz Planes, and hopefully we get to catch up sometime. Yeah, and New Zealand, look at that. We did capture the black livery last Sunday, I believe. And this is just the usual livery, but New Zealand looks pretty beautiful. Lovely. And let us get ready for Boeing 787 of United. Okay, Sinal says, next year in 2027, I will be visiting Sydney Airport near Old Traffic Control to spend my day there in the year 2027 in the weekend. Okay, yeah, sure mate, sure, Sinal, you can spend your day, because you know, even we are here by the base of the old air traffic control tower, so surely when you come over here, we may end up seeing you. And yeah, come over, have a chat. It will be great to, you know, have a nice chat with you and speak so much about aviation. I do see you know and have a lot of knowledge about the aviation history and of what aviation would have looked like back in the 1970s and 80s here in Australia. So Sinal, yes, I do appreciate your comments, and we do hope we can see you someday out here. But as we speak, we see United Boeing 787-9 to Los Angeles, California, the United States of America. Oh, wonderful. Super wonderful. What do we have next? Canberra to Sydney service on the Dash 8-400 yet again from QantasLink. We've captured a couple of them this morning, and we will be capturing this one too. And whilst we speak, we do see Vietnam Airlines Airbus A330-900 just taxiing around the corner. Yes, that is how you land a Dash 8. But let us look at the size difference of an A350 and the Dash 8. Whoa, whoa. It literally passes through behind. I didn't expect it to be that small, even though I knew it, but yeah, should be a good one. Alright, Vietnam Airlines, we didn't get much of a good look in the morning, considering the fact that it was a bit hazy at that very moment when Vietnam Airlines just came in from Ho Chi Minh City. But I'm glad we can capture it now. And as we do so, following that, Vietnam Airlines A350 is Cathay Pacific. That Cathay Pacific A350, it looks so smooth. It almost looks like it's from one of those flight simulator games where everything is so touched up, everything is so decked up, no blemishes, nothing at all. It just looks exactly as it's come out of the game and in real life. It looks so nice. I'm always amazed actually. Yeah, okay, so I do believe we have another. Okay, yeah, QF23. Yeah, I was just saying, I do believe we have another aircraft out there taxiing because I could hear the engines, and indeed we do have the Qantas A330 to Hong Kong. So that will be another good one to capture. I do know there's quite a lot of A330 fans out here as well, those who love the sound, so I'll just be quiet for a while. I'm happy we are getting quite a lot of early rotations out here today. What is the reason? Are they like too light, I believe? Okay, let us read. What else do we have? So Sinal says they go there to the old traffic control once a year on the weekend, and then I go to Oporto to eat my dinner. Okay, lovely. Oporto is lovely. It's super tasty, I would say. Sanal also says, I used to go overseas terminal building in Sydney Airport back in the year 87 until the year 91. Sydney Kingsford Smith International Airport building. Okay, yep, cool. And in the year 86, I used to take my binoculars to see the plane taking off and landing near old traffic control tower near the black fences. Okay. Yes. Yeah, and you did mention it on a previous live stream as well, so yeah, thank you so much for letting us know about that one. And what do we have here? Garuda Indonesia. Yeah, so like I said, you know, the peak departures and stuff like that, it does seem to be a peak because we just had Vietnam Airlines just depart. Over here we see Garuda Indonesia taxiing, then we have Qantas to Hong Kong over there, and then Cathay Pacific just holding off runway 34. We do have Auckland to Sydney service coming on Air New Zealand on the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. It'll be wonderful to capture that one. Okay, we did see a bit of swing out there. And thrust reversers deployed. A very smooth landing, you wouldn't even be able to tell. Super lovely. And New Zealand done and dusted, and then it's going to be Cathay Pacific for takeoff. Alright, Sinal also says, Sheldon, I used to go there near the old traffic control 2 days a week, Wednesday and Saturday in the morning in 1986, walk from Rockdale to Brighton, Lisa, and oh wow, that's quite a bit of walk, I would say. Hey Craig, welcome to the stream, and you say loving the crow in the background. I'm telling you mates, I'm telling you that crow is causing such a nuisance. Let me just zoom out and show you what the crow is up to. Alrighty, can you see the crow up there? Alright, look at the crow out there. Crazy crow, stop it. We need the engine sounds, not your sound. But yeah, Craig, thanks for your comment. It was lovely. Oh man, come on crows, just stop it. Yeah, so here we are, Cathay Pacific once again taking off for Hong Kong. Whoa! That was a super early rotation. I mean, what in the right world is going on that we have super early rotations of all these heavy aircraft? Are they light? Are less people traveling? Is it less demand just due to the high ticket prices and stuff like that? Just the geopolitical situation, people waiting until things get better? I literally have no idea, but hopefully it's not affecting too much. All right, Craig, it seems to be the crow is out of here. Yeah, but I can still hear that crow. Let's see, hopefully everything goes well. Alright, Sinal says, Sheldon, I love going to the old traffic control since 2014 until year 2026. Once a year in the weekend to watch planes spotting. Oh yeah, sure, you know, Sinal, it's a lovely place out here and quite a lot of people do come over here. Today the crowd seems to be a bit less, but I do believe that as the day progresses there'll be much more people coming in, and Saturday evening much more, as well as tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening there'll be quite a lot of people as well. In the morning not much, but yeah, in the evening I do expect a lot more people to be here. Alright, Craig says he's busy looking for some kind of donation, it would seem. I mean, I couldn't agree less with you, mates. I couldn't agree less with you. Yeah, definitely he would have been looking for some sort of a donation, but yeah, literally causing so much of the noise out here on our streams, that was crazy. But you know, it's not even worse compared to what was happening this morning. There were those big bin chickens and they were literally getting on our nerves this morning. But yeah, the crow was quite respectable in that regard. And yeah, let's have a look at the seagull. Yeah, quite a lot of them out here. But then we move our attention to China, Southern Airlines, Airbus A350, another beautiful one. How many of you all saw the YouTube short video that we posted of China Southern Airlines with the Vital Bay livery, the nice pinkish color plane? I mean, that's the best livery I've seen so far till date. Out of all the liveries that I've spotted, something that's really catching the eye. And you know, that's something I really would love to see again, perhaps on one of our live streams. That was almost 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow is Sunday and it's going to be exactly 2 weeks since we captured that plane. Hopefully it does come back and you know, we will be able to get another good look of it. Okay, now it does seem to be our internet is having issues once again, just like last Saturday. I don't even know what is wrong and why this happens only on a Saturday. So yes, this is super wonderful. Okay, Qantas's A330 departing to Bangkok, A330-300. Yeah, another early rotation. I tell you, there's something going on. They're either using full thrust or they've been told to use for whatever weather conditions, or maybe they are just plain light with not much passengers on board. Sydney to Guangzhou service as VEC taxiing to runway 34L on the Airbus A350-900, built in September of 2019. It's 6 years old and will be departing shortly. Well, I do hear some engines spooling around on that side. Or is it just this taxiing aircraft? Would be crazy if it was. Yeah, indeed, it is crossing the active runway. Sydney to Cairns, probably they are in a rush to clear off the active runway because they don't really want to hold too much of aircraft out here waiting for departures. As you all know, it is peak departure time now. We are done with the morning peak arrivals. We will be having still a lot more arrivals, a lot more departures, but usually the peak is when things could go a bit crazy. Like you see already, Garuda Indonesia has lined up and is waiting. Garuda Indonesia, as usual, Sydney to Denpasar service on the Airbus A330-300, registered as PK GPW. It has begun its takeoff roll. It is 11 years old, built first in November of 2014. In fact, it was built in November 2014. I don't know what does built first in November 2014 mean. That's a bit crazy of me. Yeah, come on, give us an early rotation. Everyone else does it. You can do it too. Go for it. We are rooting for you. Go for an early rotation. Come on. Come on. Give it to us. Okay. Garuda Indonesia wanted to give it to us, but they couldn't give it to us as much. Maybe they heard us quite late. But yeah, we still did see the attempt at the rotation. So yeah, pretty good one with that. What else do we have? Do we have any special liveries coming? If there's no special liveries, what else do we do? Yeah, I don't see any special liveries out there. Alright, Sinal says, Sheldon, I can Qantas aircraft on runway 34 left right now, ready to take off. Yes, Sinal, we did capture that one. We did capture it, the Bangkok service, QF23, if I'm not wrong. We just read that through. Yeah, so we did capture that one. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls watching us from everywhere in the world, first of all, welcome to our live stream here on Sydney Airport Aviation. I am Sheldon and we will take you through all the departures and arrivals until late morning and into the early afternoon. Welcome, Edwin. Welcome. You say greetings from Edwin, city of Eindhoven, the Netherlands. Welcome, Edwin. It's great to have you here on our live stream. We are now filming China Southern Airlines to Guangzhou, the Airbus A350-900. What a wonderful aircraft this is. Come on, give us an early rotation, just like how we asked the others to do it for us. Oh yes, there you go. Yeah, that was a nice early rotation, and that is something that we usually like. But apart from that, what do we have? China Eastern. So Edwin, how are you? How are you doing? How is everything? I believe you The local time for you in Netherlands would be late Friday night, if I'm not wrong. How has your Friday been? How has your whole week been? And what are your plans for the weekend? I'm hoping you're going to have a great time, have a restful weekend, I believe. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls watching us from everywhere in the world, what we see on screen is China Eastern Airlines Airbus A330-200, registered as B5962. It's an 11-year-old aircraft built in December of 2014, and it's making its way to runway 34 for its flight to Wuhan. We saw this flight coming in earlier today. What do we have here? We have Thai Airways Airbus A350. Now, those of you who were on the stream, you all would say, we did see Thai Airways, but that had a Star Alliance livery when it arrived. What happened? So this Thai Airways aircraft that you see stays overnight here at Sydney Airport, and it departs the following morning. Like you see, this aircraft came in last night. If you would have watched our Sunday night, this past Sunday night stream, we did show you Thai Airways being pushed to the remote gate, and the tail fin light and the cabin lights were on, but once the towing operation was done, all the lights were switched off. That includes the cabin as well as the tail fin lights. And then the following morning, Monday morning, we did capture the very same aircraft departing just like how we see it now. It has departed from the gate and is making its way to runway 34L. So yes, we will be seeing that Star Alliance livery aircraft coming in, departing a bit later. I am not sure if we will be there until then, but yes, that is just how it usually works around with Thai Airways. And likewise, similar is the situation with Emirates as well as Singapore Airlines. The aircraft stays here all night, and then the next morning they leave for their services. Alrighty, United. We saw this one come in earlier today. San Francisco, it's a brand new aircraft. Alright, the crows are back once again, top of our head. Literally, we don't need that sounds and the noise that they keep making, because yeah, it does affect the part of the stream, but hopefully from tomorrow onwards we get a much more clearer stream. You never know. Yeah, let's capture that departure. Superb. That was nice. All right, look at what we have. We have 3 aircraft out there. The Wuhan service on China Eastern, which is right ahead, then the Bangkok service on Thai Airways, and then San Francisco on United Boeing 787-9 and Dreamliner. We do have a Saab 340B coming in, not the Saab 340B Plus, just the Saab 340B on Rex coming in from Narendra. Just a 1 hour and 5 minute flight, registered as VHVNA. It's a 34-year-old aircraft built in April of 1992. It's been a great morning, apart from the downer that we had, where we had to discontinue our stream for just 5 minutes and then come back. There's nothing else that we have to complain about. You know, we captured all of the liveries. In fact, we captured the Juneyao Air livery whilst it was departing, whilst it was taxiing, just around the right time when we started the stream for the second time. So yes, in fact, it's been a wonderful one for us, and we won't complain out there. Yep. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let us get ready for the departure action. Hello, Jairo. Hello. How are you doing, Jairo? Where are you from? Are you from Sydney? How are you doing? I hope you're having a great time out here on our live stream. We have been streaming all morning long, and we continue to stream all morning long and into the early afternoon to capture all of that crazy departure action. Of course, the benchmark for us is usually to stay here until we finish off with the morning crazy departure peak, and that obviously points us to one of the departures, that is All Nippon Airways service to Tokyo Haneda. Oh, Jairo, you're from Arlington, Texas. Wow. Wow. What's even the time out there? Is it about like 7:40 in the evening, if I'm not mistaken? I could totally be wrong. Forgive me for that, but you know, I'm just guessing, considering the fact that it could be about 8:40 p.m. in New York on Friday evening. Yeah, please let us know what time it is. And Jairo, I hope you've had a great Friday. And what are your plans on the weekend? Hopefully you're going to enjoy yourself, have a nice time with family and friends. We did have Dallas-Fort Worth service to Sydney come in earlier today on Qantas A380. It was a 16-hour and 36-minute flight. Yeah, super wonderful. So yeah, Jairo, how is everything with you? Hopefully everything's going well. Hello, Charles. You're watching from General Santos City, Philippines. Wow. Charles, wonderful. I'm glad you're joining us. I hope you're doing well, and thank you very much for joining us. You're waiting for Philippine Airlines PR212. Surely we'll catch that for you. We captured Philippine Airlines PR211 that came in from Manila earlier today. We also captured Cebu Pacific that came in earlier today, and in fact we will be capturing both of those departures, Philippine Airlines PR212 to Manila, as well as Cebu Pacific later in the day that will be departing to Manila. So how's everything, Charles? I hope you're having a great Saturday morning. It is 8:43 a.m. in the Philippines, and I hope you're having a great time. Charles, I just wanted to let you know, one of my aunts is from Philippines. My uncle and aunt, they were working in Dubai, and they happened to meet there, and they did get married. Yep. And that's how the love story went. So yeah, I do have quite a lot of these experiences with a lot of the Filipino people. In fact, one of my best mates at work is from the Philippines. We have quite a lot of Filipino colleagues as well. So yeah, I'm pleased to meet you. Very nice. Yeah, Charles, stay tuned for Philippine Airlines as well as Cebu Pacific. We will be bringing that action to you. It's going to be one hell of a time to bring all of that action to you, Charles. Stay tuned, and thank you very much for joining us. Charles, we usually stream about every other weekend, so yeah, we are streaming today. We will be streaming tomorrow morning as well. I'm not too sure if we will be streaming tomorrow, like tonight, later tonight. I am not sure, but if we do, we do it. So that's why I wouldn't promise you, but yeah, definitely we are streaming tomorrow morning, once again from here at Sydney Airport, to capture all the crazy action. Alrighty, we do see a Qantas aircraft coming in, but not too sure whether we'll be getting the departure roll of Thai Airways. Let us see what works well. Oh yeah, Charles, indeed, it's very lovely, and I tell you, the Filipino people are one of the best to deal with. Very kind, very cooperative. You know, one hell of a good bunch of people, I would say. I've been to Dubai many times, and you know, I met so many Filipinos. They are really pleasant people to work with, and yeah, you know, keep it up, mates, keep it up. Really happy to see you here on the live stream. We appreciate your presence. Alrighty, that's a Singapore service, Airbus A330-300, but we do your engines pulling up of Thai Airways A350 to Bangkok. So let's get that. TG476 Sydney to Bangkok service on the Airbus A350-900. Whoa! Let's get the early rotation. Come on. Give it to us, mates. Yeah. There you go. Woohoo! Today is a very special day considering all these early rotations. It's like really nice, you know. We are really quite excited and psyched about all of these early rotations. So that's going to be a wonderful one. Alrighty. We do see United. That's a brand new aircraft out there, just having lined up on runway 34L of Sydney's airport. Let us see what we can get out here. Alright, San Francisco service. Woohoo! UA870 Sydney to San Francisco. Let's capture this one. Are we going to get an early rotation on this one? I doubt so, considering the fact that they are going to be a pretty long journey. A lot of people out there traveling to San Francisco. But let us see. You never know. I could always be wrong, and I would love to be proved wrong today just to get an early rotation on this aircraft. Come on, prove me wrong, mates. Come on, come on. Okay, we don't get that. And that's all right, you know, that's totally all right. All right, okay, let us wait for the next one. You know what it is, Vietjet Air to Ho Chi Minh City. Wow, it's just a bit cloudy now, and it seems to be Vietjet Air looks super wonderful. Let us pan around a bit more and get a good view of it. Yeah, look at this. Looks nice and smooth, sort of a thing. And welcome everyone to all joining us from everywhere in the world. Welcome, welcome. We hope you all are having a great start to the day. And if you all are anywhere in Europe, Asia, like far off Asia, far West Asia, United States, I hope you'll have all had a great Friday then in that case. All right, Charles says, what nice watching Purple Princess. Yeah, it was, right? It was a nice Purple Princess. Yeah, capturing this one. I believe this one is from Bengaluru, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, indeed. I did mention earlier today as well, it seems to be Qantas will be discontinuing temporarily the Bengaluru service. I believe from August to October, if I'm not mistaken. I could be totally wrong on that, but as I was reading the news article, I didn't pay attention to the start date, but I do see that they will be starting off, like, continuing with the connection once again in the month of October. So that's going to be a good one, and hopefully we get to see Bengaluru service coming back soon. I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite tough on Qantas to pause those flights, because the Indian market is something that Qantas has wanted to always expand, and here we are with the fuel bills rising for Qantas. I think about $800 million is what they estimated to be, and they have to discontinue the service. So yeah, it's totally opposite of what they would have planned, and yeah, we do feel sad for them, but hopefully things can work out in their favor very soon. All right, Vietjet Air out there. All right, let us look at the comments. Sanal says, Sheldon, I book an aviation at Bankstown Library in 1990. I used to look at aviation book in Bankstown Library. Okay, cool, that's good, yeah. And news agent used to sell books in aviation year 1990 at news agency. Okay, yes, cool, that's nice. I'm pretty sure, Sanal, you would be having some sort of books as memory or nostalgia, right, at home. Do you have any of those aviation books? Perhaps you may have purchased some. Okay, Charles says PR212 taxing. Sure, Charles, we will capture Philippine Airlines PR212 right here on Sydney Airport Aviation for all the best of aviation that you can get at Sydney and perhaps maybe Tokyo, Haneda. Stay with us. We will be bringing all of that action to you. Senile says, aviation books about aeroplane. News agent used to sell books. Yep, I read that. Bankstown Library used to receive free books in aviation. Wow. I had no idea that used to happen, but that's great knowing. Thank you very much, Senile. We appreciate you sharing with us that knowledge out here. Wow, that was a super early rotation. I think we see Qantas. Let us see if we can capture it, yeah. Alright, okay. Seems to be there's quite a lot of departures and arrivals now. Alrighty, let us capture PR212 for Charles. There you are, Philippine Airlines PR212, making its way to runway 34L for its flight to Manila, Philippines. Yeah, the sun shining on the fuselage of the plane makes it look so beautiful. I hope you all had that nice engine sound. Philippine Airlines PR212. No worries, Charles. Anytime. We are always happy to bring all of this aviation action to you all. So yeah, we are pleased. We are pleased that you have actually joined us and asked for PR212. Thank you very much. Yeah, you know, Philippine Airlines, lovely. You know, Charles, Philippine Airlines once brought its Airbus A350-1000 to Sydney. And on that day I came over here, and sadly I was still driving to the spot. Like literally I am at the spot, but you know, I still hadn't parked my car, and I see Philippine Airlines A350-1000. What a day for me to miss that awesome aircraft. And after that day I have never really seen it again. Perhaps, you know, because at times I have been even outside and, you know, overseas and stuff. But I do hope to see the A350-1000 of Philippine Airlines come back once again to Sydney. All right, let's have a look at DHL. How was that sound? Did you all take a listen to that sound? It was wonderful. Love to listen to those thrust reversers out there doing their job quite well. Alrighty, we have Vietjet Air. You can see nice and shining over there in the sun, but the foreground is cloudy. And this is the best that, you know, we can ask and expect from the weather. It's going to be nice. Charles says, hope I will spot the A350-1000 from PAL in my hometown. Yep, I do hope and I do wish, Charles, that you can capture it. Please click a lot of pictures when you do see the A350-1000 of Philippine Airlines. I did see the video of Philippine Airlines unveiling its A350-1000 at its delivery delivery celebration. It was wonderful. I tell you, it looks so very beautiful. So we really love the A350s. You know, the A350s as it is, they look beautiful, and certain liveries just make it stand out, and Philippine Airlines is one of them. You know, the Philippine Airlines is nice and simple. Everything just goes as is, but the fact that, you know, it's on an A350 takes it to a whole new different level, and that is what we actually like. All right, let us turn our attention to the Airbus A330 of Vietjet Air. Isn't it good, that sound? How good was that to listen, just to listen to that sound? And what do we have here? Philippine Airlines, Airbus A330. Registered as RP-C8783. Built in the year October of 2013. The aircraft is 12 years old. In fact, 12 and a half years old. Airbus A330 to Philippines. PR212. Let us watch the takeoff roll. Let us see if Philippine Airlines can give us an early rotation out of here in Sydney. If it does, yeah, it will be good. I think they're just awaiting a bit of clearances. I think they did. We can hear the engines pulling up. Yeah, we do see a movement. All right, get ready, Charles, get ready. Oh yes, Charles is already ready to see PR212 in Philippines airspace. Not too long, Charles. It's just going to be about maybe another 6.5 hours before it enters Philippines airspace, and maybe another hour and a half before it lands in beautiful sunny Manila. That was nice. We see the nose wheel lift up. That was super wonderful. Super wonderful. We saw the nose wheel lift up, and that was great. And New Zealand, as we see. And New Zealand Airbus A330-200 NX Sydney to Auckland service. But what do we see here? Another beautiful Airbus A350-900 Sydney to Shanghai on China Eastern Airlines. Registered as B32DW. The registration is so clear out there. We don't even need to check flight radar for whatever reason. Hey, another aircraft that just took off. We saw it on the top of the screen. Alrighty, let us just capture this departure. It's going to be nice and beautiful. A321 Sydney to Perth service. Yeah, very nice and beautiful. It's really nice that, it's not the sunniest day ever and it's not the cloudiest day ever, a mix of both, and that gives us the best visuals. We aren't complaining anymore. To everyone joining us on our live stream, we are streaming from Sydney Airport live. It is 2 minutes past 11 on 2nd of May 2026, and it is a Saturday. This is our second stream of the day, and the only reason why it is the second stream is because we had to discontinue the first stream as it started raining, and we use high capacity power banks out here for a marathon of a stream that we always do, and we didn't really want to get into trouble with fire or anything of that sort. So that's the reason we did have a bit of these things happening out here, but hopefully we won't have any more issues now. Alrighty, Livery to Sydney on the Dash 8-400. You can see it, Qantas Link just making its way to runway 34, registered as VHQOA. And it is 20 years old. October of 2005 is when it was built. Alrighty, let's turn our attention to this aircraft right now. QF1944 Sydney to Townsville on the Embraer E190. We did see one of the Embraer E190 come in this morning. I'm not too sure if it's the exact same one because I totally forgot the registration number. This is registered as VHUYK. Let us check. Age 19 years. I do believe we may have seen the same, but I could not be further away from the truth because I can't quite recollect. We see so many registrations and the age of so many aircraft, definitely could be a mix-up. Sydney to Ayers Rock, Jetstar. Yeah, early rotation. That was super early, it reached so high. Alrighty, we now have China Eastern going to be taking off in the nice sunny daylight. We have sun now once again all across. The cloud cover has moved, it has cleared off. So Sydney to Shanghai service registered as B32DW A350-900. Let us get ready. But whilst we're getting ready, we do see another aircraft just taxiing by. Airbus A330-300 QF127 Sydney to Hong Kong off Qantas Airways. We will be capturing that one after the takeoff of this aircraft. Let's go. It's a wonderful day today for the very fact that we are getting so many of those early rotations. Usually that's not something we end up seeing often. So I'm quite excited. I'm quite happy that we can actually get those early rotations out here. Okay, let us just for a moment pan around and see if we can capture that helicopter that is in the scene. Did it move? Okay, we can see that. I think it just slightly left of Port Botany, or perhaps right of Port Botany. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Let's see. And New Zealand, the service to Auckland, which we did capture earlier today whilst it was taxiing. Yeah, that's nice. We do have Jetstar here. Okay, we see two helicopters, one on the left, one on the right. Let's capture the Embraer. About Sydney to Townsville service, like I mentioned earlier, when we did capture it whilst it was taxiing. Wow, that's like a busy, crazy departure period. It's like so many of the aircraft. We don't even get to look around the place. Hey Charles, yes, right, the engine sound was lovely. Hey Haps, Oh yeah, thanks for saying that. Perhaps vivid images are being streamed here in Yokohama as well. Yes, I do know it's quite beautiful out there. And we just had one of our colleagues from work that arrived from Japan this past week. They were super happy to be in Japan and they already are missing Japan. They hope to visit again. And perhaps we will be visiting Tokyo Haneda later this year, as I did mention earlier too. So stay tuned. We will be streaming crazy amounts from Tokyo Haneda. Perhaps we did read a news article which did say that there will be robots starting from this month that will be assisting the ground workers at Tokyo Haneda Airport. Have you heard of that news? What do you think about it? I would love to see those robots in action. So probably we'll just wait until the robots start working over there and are deployed, and maybe that will be part of our live streams from Tokyo Haneda too. That was beautiful. Qantas, as beautiful as ever. Sydney to Johannesburg service QF63 registered as VHOQD. We did spot VHOQD earlier today. Then let us turn our attention for the time being Sydney to Kansai, Osaka, Japan on Jetstar, registered as VHVKE. Yeah, the aircraft looks nice, clean and beautiful. Welcome everyone, welcome to all joining us on our live stream. We've been streaming all morning long and we plan to continue streaming until about early afternoon. Maybe just about an hour more before we end the stream. But stay tuned, we do have a bit of the departure action. We do have Singapore Airlines A380 that needs to take off. We haven't even seen it taxiing past us. We already have had Qantas that just passed by us in front of Jetstar for its flight to Johannesburg, South Africa. Yeah, let us pan around a bit. Let us see what's happening out there. Okay. Getting ready. SQ232 Sydney to Singapore is ready for departure. It will be pushing back shortly. Yeah, it has started pushing back, of course, as we just started speaking. So yeah, stay with us, stay tuned with us. We have quite a lot of the departure action. However, before that departure action, we will be having a bit of arrivals. Melbourne to Sydney service QF434 on Qantas's Airbus A330-200 XLR, registered as VHOGD. That is the fourth aircraft of the A321. And when was it built? February of 2026, which means it is just about 2.5 months old, I believe, or almost 3 months we can say, which is like brand new. Let us capture that one landing on our channel, and it's going to be one good one. There you see it on screen right now. Lovely. February 2026. Just a very brand new aircraft. And as we are done with that, let us get ready for Qantas QF63 to Johannesburg, South Africa. Hey Haps, yes, Haneda is experiencing a golden week season in tourist places. Yes, I do know that. Yeah, I do have quite a lot of colleagues who keep talking about the golden week, and we have one colleague that just came back earlier this week from Tokyo, and they have been quite happy about it. But yeah, it seems to be a bit too crowded, I would say, out there in Japan as of now. But I do hope you're having a great golden week, Haps, and I wish you a speedy recovery. I'm hoping that you have been discharged from hospital and are at home at this very moment as you watch our live stream. Haps, do join us tomorrow for our live stream as well, tomorrow morning, beginning 5 a.m. local Tokyo time. We aren't sure if we will be streaming tonight from Shep's Mound, the other viewing point of Sydney Airport, but if we do, yeah, we will come for it, but we can't promise because we itself don't know whether we would be doing it. Let us see if we get an early rotation. Nah, it's just slightly bit too late, but that's okay. Alright, once again, Jetstar. We already have one Jetstar aircraft which has already lined up on the runway, the Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. That is JQ13 Sydney to Osaka Kansai. The second one is JQ47 that we just saw on screen. That is going to Sydney to Seoul Incheon. That is this one. And then as we turn around, we have MF802. You all know what it is. That is Sydney to Xiamen on Xiamen. Of course, this past Sunday, we captured a nice special livery of Xiamen, the United Nations livery. I was just wondering, why is this Dreamliner looking so small? And then I realized it's a Boeing 787-8. It literally looks like a small baby. We are so used to seeing the 787-9 and 10s that, 787-8s look small. But lucky us, look at this. One Boeing 787-8. There's another one which is lined up on the runway to Osaka Kansai, and another one on the right side of the screen which is still taxiing to runway for its flight to Seoul Incheon. Alright, let us get ready for the Osaka service. Osaka service now. Lovely, we got that early rotation out there. Of course, not the full rotation that we would able to see, but we did get quite a good view of it. We saw the nose gear lifting up, and now one of 787s are done, the second 787 and then the third 787, as you see. All of them Dash 8 Dreamliners. Haps says, save the money. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really get that one. maybe save the money for the Golden Week, is it? Yeah, I'm not too sure. I probably didn't get that one, mates. I probably didn't get that one. Please let us know, Haps, what it could mean. US $1 is equal to 156 to 159 yen. Whoa, okay. That's quite a bit, I would say, with the yen happening out there. But yes, that's usually the thing, right? Because even over here, when I did visit Japan earlier this year, 1 yen was equal to a little, sorry, not 1 yen, $1 was equal to a little over like maybe 102 yen odd something. So yeah, 100 to 102 yens. So yeah, I totally understand the exchange rate could be a bit crazy, but yeah, I do see a lot of people find a lot of good value in Japan, and rightly so. You know, the quality that you get in Japan, you don't get anywhere else. I would say I've been to so many other places out here, you know, been to Singapore, been to the United States, Hong Kong, of course Australia. Yeah, which other place have I been to? Yeah, of course India, and as well as the United Arab Emirates, Dubai. I would say Dubai comes a close second, but most other places, they don't really have the quality that people actually look for. But yeah, I would pretty much give it to Japan. Japan has some real good quality with the products to the groceries. Yeah, I do know fruits can be a bit too expensive out there, but yeah, you know, each to their own. It's a wonderful place though, Japan. I would really love to visit Japan again, Haps. Alrighty, the Seoul engine service is ready. It is ready for departure. It has begun its takeoff roll. We can see it on the left side of the screen, and we will capture it now. Amazing, super amazing. And then we have another Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner off Chamonix. Chamonix MF802, registered as B2769. It's a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, built in September of 2014. It is 11 years old. Sydney to Xiamen. Let's get ready. We do have Singapore Airlines, which is just crossing about the end of the terminal. We should get that one. We should also get Hong Kong Airlines HX18 Sydney to Hong Kong on the Airbus A330. So yes, there's quite a lot of the departure action still left for us out here. And wishing everyone a very warm welcome joining us today on our live stream. I hope you all are having a great start to the day. Let us get ready for the departure. What's happening? Maybe they're just awaiting clearance. Once clearance is received, they should be good to go. Okay, Haps, I do agree with you. You know, Australia is too rich, but then at the same time, I would say, you know, the expenses here in Australia, like way above the roof, is like ridiculously expensive, especially Sydney. And the very fact that you know the expenses are so high, you end up saving quite less than what you would expect for the very fact that yeah, the expenses are too much. I mean, you know, compared to anywhere else in the world, to all the other places that I've been, I would expect a place like Dubai, New York, or Los Angeles to have much worse prices. But in fact, New York, Dubai, Los Angeles, they have much better pricing than Sydney for some reason. And you know, it always amazes me that those economies could do that. But you know, it comes down to very many factors, and one is there's not as many people in Australia compared to how huge Australia is actually. You know, there's very less people compared to the size of Australia. Not very many people, and we do believe that, you know, we should have had more people out here, but you know, that's the sad reality. So in Australia, we don't get that economies of scale that you would get in any other country, like even let's just say Japan, or maybe India, UAE, the United States, Europe. You have a lot of people out there. Over here, Australia is very sparsely populated. Though we say we are a country of 26-27 million people, it is nothing compared to any other country, and you know, that is one of the big issues. It does not give us that economies of scale for whatever reason. Like you know, the more you manufacture, the lesser the cost. Over here, that's something we as Australia cannot really, you know, get a good hold of. Anyway, let's get Hong Kong Airlines. You can even see the registration BLHI. And this is what I said earlier today in the stream. Hong Kong Airlines is going to look nice and bright as you know, as the sun shines on it later in the day as it departs. And this is what I was exactly talking about. It's going to look super beautiful as it takes off, as it makes its way all the way to runway 34, and then, you know, it takes off. SQ231 following closely, sorry, SQ232 following closely behind. 231 is usually the plane which comes into Sydney, and SQ232 is the one which departs. Here we have it. Nice and beautiful Singapore Airlines Airbus A380. It's nice, we can hear the engine sounds and the roars. That is super lovely. But as we look at Singapore Airlines, let us turn our attention to that side of the airport. Nadi to Sydney, FJ911. Flight radar says it's diverting to Nadi. What exactly is happening? Another beautiful Airbus A350-900. Alright, let's get ready. Hong Kong Airlines, registered as BLHI. It's a 10-year-old aircraft built in October of 2015. No prizes for guessing where it is off to. Can any of you guess where Hong Kong Airlines is off to? Or if you all don't know that, maybe just let me know where Singapore Airlines is off to. Yeah, like Hong Kong Airlines is off to Hong Kong, Singapore Airlines is off to Singapore. Yes, we get it, but what we are trying to get right now is some wonderful visuals of Hong Kong Airlines. Let us see how this one works out. Yep, that was super lovely, super loud and super nice. Can you just imagine what's going to happen here right now with Singapore Airlines? It's going to be much more louder. Of course, we are waiting for an arrival. Hobart to Sydney service on the Boeing 737-800, one of Virgin Australia, registered as VHYFF, and it is 14 years old, delivered, built in May of 2011. Of course, this is May, once again, May 2026. I think it's going to turn 15 years old shortly, maybe on the particular date that it was built. Okay, let's get it in frame. Virgin Australia Boeing 737-800. Even a 737-800 looks beautiful at this time of the day, especially when you have a bit of clouds and then a bit of sun here in Sydney. But yeah, that's how it is. But let us get ready for another big yellow fella, that is Cebu Pacific. You all know Big Yellow Fella is the name of one of Scoot's Boeing 787-8, but I informally call all of them a Big Yellow Fella. But then at the same time, I also call Cebu Pacific the same, just because of its nice yellow, nice brightish color. Look at that. Alright, we will turn our attention to Singapore Airlines SQ232, making its way to Singapore Changi on its takeoff roll. I will be quiet. Let us see if we can get some loud engine noise. Hey, superb, superb. I'm pretty sure you all heard that nice engine sounds. And what we see on screen now is Cebu Pacific. Welcome everyone. Welcome to all joining us on a live stream from anywhere and everywhere in the world. We hope you all are having a great time and it's been a wonderful week for all of you. I hope you all have a great weekend as well. How is everyone doing? What's your plan for the weekend? Are you all doing anything exciting? Yeah, Jetstar, there you go. Wow, looks nice. Even on a cloudy day. But it's not totally cloudy, it's more like an overcast day, I would say. We do see a bit of sun ever so often, and even right now you can see in the background there is a bit of sun, so just those clouds passing by and all. And if we turn to the other side, you can see Cebu Pacific is nice sunlit out there. So yeah, let us see how everything works out for us. Welcome everyone. Welcome to all joining us on our live stream today. We are just awaiting the departure of Cebu Pacific. It does seem to be that we are going to have an arrival prior to that, and that is from Hong Kong CX-181 on Cathay Pacific's Boeing 777-300ER, registered as BKPR and built in June of 2010, so it is 15 years old. Let us see what it looks like. We should have the 777 in frame soon, and there you see it enters the frame from the right side. Yeah, let us capture that. Hopefully it's a nice buttery smoky landing. Let us see if we get that smoke. Oh yes, we did see a bit of smoke behind the landing gears, behind the main landing gears. Yes, that is wonderful. Okay, we do see Jetstar's new livery out here. These aircraft look nice and bright with the new livery, and I do love them. I hope to see them on almost all of the aircraft of Jetstar, especially the Boeing 787-8 Dreamliners. They will look wonderful. But whilst we are at that, we do see Cebu Pacific on its takeoff roll. So let's get that one going. 5J40 Sydney to Manila service on the Airbus A330-900 Zero Pacific. Let's go. Yeah, that was another great takeoff. Okay, we do see Airbus A321 of Qantas out there. We do hear some engines, so we should be getting some nice action. But let us look at this side. Wow, the big yellow fella. Not really, but you know, I always call Scoots big yellow fellas. TR10 Singapore to Sydney on the Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. It's going to be great to capture this landing. Yeah, there you go. And this is the engines that we could hear from far off as they were spooling up. Qantas's Airbus A330. Like I mentioned, one of the very many services to Tokyo Haneda, and this is Sydney to Tokyo Haneda service on the Airbus A330-300 of Qantas. Alright, Qantas 59 taxiing to runway 34L, registered as VHQPI and manufactured in October of 2005, that is 20 years old. We did capture this aircraft, I believe last week or perhaps earlier this week on Monday on our live stream. We do have Vietnam Airlines coming in from Hanoi, and we'll be able to see it entering the frame very, very shortly. Oh wow, we do have LATAM Airlines Today it's one of the earlier ones compared to last week, where it departed quite late in the departure schedule. So yeah, I do believe then that today we will be having the Tokyo Haneda service on all Nippon Airways as the closure of the departure peak, the morning departure peak. You can see the background is quite dark, so it's like, yeah, pretty much a lot of dark clouds out there. And then we will just turn our attention to LATAM Airlines. We saw this aircraft arriving earlier today. Yeah, it did arrive a bit late, but I'm glad it's probably departing on time, I believe, because last week, perhaps earlier this week, maybe on Monday, when we were filming, they did depart quite late in the morning departure schedule. Okay, we'll just turn around and have a look here. Qantas. The service to Tokyo Haneda QF59. Right, done with that and ready for the other departures. Once again, we do have Virgin Australia. It's probably crossed from the active taxiway out here, and we should be able to get the departure to Sydney to Hamilton Island. Okay, we do have T-way coming through Sydney to Seoul Incheon. Alright, and we do have the Haneda service on all Nippon Airways as well, Sydney to Tokyo Haneda, just being tugged along, so we should be getting some very good visuals of that one too. Yeah, and I do believe we have seen a lot of those arrivals come in as well. Before we move on, after all of that morning departure peak, like the end of the departure peak, we will be checking flight radar just to get another look at what really is happening before we move on. Air New Zealand. Okay, let's get to T-way. The service to Seoul Incheon. Hey, there's an aircraft taking off in the background. It looks beautiful actually, you know, especially when it's nice and bright. Of course, it's not as bright today, but we aren't complaining either. because we've got some really great visual shots out here. Okay, it's getting a bit windy, but pretty sure it's not going to really affect us as we stand. Definitely, if it's getting windy, it's going to affect the runway operation, and that is what we don't really want to happen, right? Alright, Virgin Australia. Let's capture this 737-800. Super lovely, and look at the sun shining on LATAM Airlines. It's like so shiny that it looks fully white color. Even with our naked eye, as we see it from here, we can't really spot much. Of course, it's not as white as what we see it on screen, but pretty much the same, I would say, almost the same. Hello, Will. Hello. Yes, LATAM B787-9, that is for you. We dedicated for you the LATAM 787-9. Hello, Gabe. Hello. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hoping you're doing well and having a great time, having a great Saturday evening. If you are anywhere else, anywhere in the United States, Canada, South America, Europe, if you are in Australia and New Zealand, wishing you a very, very good morning and a very, very happy weekend. LATAM Airlines to Santiago, Chile. Yep, a wonderful one. We do see China Eastern out there. China Eastern, of course, is coming from Auckland. Oh no, it's raining, I believe. It's sort of drizzling. We do have a bit of drops falling on us. And yeah, at this stage, if it does rain, we will end the stream and we will not stream again. Of course, we have already discontinued the stream earlier once in the morning. And continuing the stream right now may be a bit too hard for us. Hopefully, everything can just go well. Yeah, China Eastern. But as the China Eastern makes its way, an Airbus A330-200, we will move our attention to the other side of the runway because we have QF642 Perth to Sydney coming in on the Boeing 737-800. Oh yes, even they can smoke the runway. It's like, come on, a Perth to Sydney service, they literally are like, sometimes we don't see the smoking of the runways. Perhaps, almost all do it as per physics, but for us to see it from so far is really an achievement, and for the very fact that a small aircraft would do and get so much of that smoke out, yeah, really good. Obviously China Eastern waiting before Qantas does taxi past to the right side so that China Eastern can make its way to Terminal 1. As you know, it has to go to the international terminal. Alright, there we see T-Way. Alright, T-Way has now lined up. Hey Vinny, you're saying if the rain comes to you, please stay with an umbrella. Yeah, sadly we do. Sorry. Sadly we didn't even carry an umbrella, but yeah, thanks for that lovely suggestion. I think we've got to go get one from Bunnings, I believe. So yeah, I don't think we will be getting the umbrella anytime soon, but let us just say, you know, in the next 3 to 4 weeks we do need to go to Bunnings because we need to get one of those big hard cases for all our equipment, because you know right now we are using so much of equipment. We've probably just improved the quality of the streams as such. As you know, when we started off our stream back in October of 2025, that is just about 7 months ago, we started off with just using YouTube's native app for streaming, and then we started using the other apps. Then we came to professional apps, and right now with overlays and 4K streaming, yes, there's quite a lot of those things that we are using. And how good was that? That is music to our ears. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all consider it the same as well. And this is ANA, the heart, the dreams and everything else of Japan, inspiration of Japan. ANA usually is the closure aircraft of the morning departure peak, and rightly so. It's 11:57 as of now as we speak, and yeah, we will be having departures even after ANA, but ANA is the last of the departure peak as such. But yeah, so what I was saying, Vinny, is to keep all of that equipment in place and organize it well, we do need to go to Bunnings to get one of those hard cases, as well as at the same time I do believe that we should be getting a nice umbrella. Thanks for letting us know. I think we'll be getting the big broad umbrella from Bunnings. Let us see how things work out. Definitely we aren't going anytime soon, maybe in the next few weeks. Yeah. And if that's the case, it's going to be so much better, because we will then able to stream even in the rain. But definitely we do need to think something about protecting our power banks, because our power banks are real. Currently we do have 47,000 milliamp hours of capacity out here with us right now. So you can imagine how much of that capacity is. Usually people having a power bank will have about 10,000 milliamp hours. We are literally like 4.7 times that limit. So you can imagine if things do go wrong, it's going to be a hell of a problem. So yeah, definitely we will be getting that umbrella. Thanks for your suggestion, really appreciate it. But then at the same time, yes, we will be looking at some sort of protection for the power banks, probably just a Ziploc case sort of a thing. I don't know, maybe get a nice big plastic key thing and just save it, get the connectors right. It should be good enough for us. So yeah, let us see. Everything takes its own time. It took us about 6.5 months to get to this stage where we improve our stream as such, and hopefully we can improve it much more. Yeah, like I was saying, the new livery of Jetstar, they always look good. This has come in from Avarua on the Airbus Airbus A330-200 NX, registered as VHOYU. It's a one-year-old aircraft delivered in September of 2024. Whoa, what do we see there in the background? Wow. Bombardier Global 7500. It is 12 p.m. on 2nd May 2026. We are streaming live from Sydney Airport, and it's been little over 6 hours since we started streaming. Of course, you've got to minus the 5 minutes that we took a break because we had to discontinue the stream, but it's still over 6 hours that we started streaming, because we started streaming exactly at 5:51 and then a 5-minute break, which means we are still about 6 hours and 4 minutes. All right, the end of the morning departure peak here at Sydney Airport with ANA, All Nippon Airways flight to Tokyo Haneda. Wishing you all a happy and safe flight. Yeah, lovely. Let us hope this aircraft takes off from runway 34L. But yeah, I think it's going to be holding because we have Perth to Sydney service coming in on the Boeing 737-800. So let us turn our attention to that. Yeah, smoke the runway yet again. Or perhaps smoke the wheels. And yes, as we speak, it's been one great day. All right, so Vinny says, let us know when you go to Bunnings in case you need an umbrella, maybe for Shep's Mound or the T6 car park areas. Is it? Yep. Because we will be going to Bunnings, but not so soon. Let us say by maybe end of May is what I would probably think of going to Bunnings, if that's the case. Why? Is there something, Vinny, that you would probably able to advise us on, like which umbrella to go? Is there a specific model or something that you recommend? If there is, please let us know, and we can just go pick it up whenever we do go to Bunnings. It would be great to go about over there. Okay, I'm glad this plane, the Bombardier Global, is going that side, so which means we are going to get a pretty long and good visual of the takeoff run. Yeah, so like I said, the end of the departure peak is all done and dusted with ANA, and yeah, should be some great other things coming. I'm not too sure, but let us see. Alrighty, Lumpy, live your best life says, just stumbled across your channel out of curiosity. How do you get such good footage and sound? Okay, so Lumpy, for the sound, we do use the wireless mics. We just bought the Havilland mic of Amazon Australia. I think it was about, I don't know what, 120 to $150. I seriously have no idea. It's been quite some time, but yeah, it should be somewhere around that price range. But they do often go on sale and specials and discounts, so maybe you can just search around and you'll get good ones. I do know there are other brands as well, which are much more cheaper for about $60 or so, but then they probably don't have as much of noise cancelling background compared to the ones that we have. That's why we just thought that we will get the ones with noise cancelling, considering the fact at the airport you do need it, especially for the wind, considering there have been times we have been streaming with some crazy winds out here. With the footage, I don't know what to say, because currently we are just using our phone as such, and that's about it. So we are streaming from Streamlabs mobile app. So if you just go to the iOS store or the Android app store, you have the Streamlabs mobile app. You can stream from that. Earlier we also used to just use our Elgato capture card and connect it to our mirrorless camera with the wire, and then connect it through the phone through Streamlabs and then just stream. But then the thing with using the capture card and all is, we noticed first of all it's quite bulky, which is fine for that thing. With it being bulky, it does affect quite a lot of our performance when we have to do streams back to back. Like, let's just say today we were streaming and then it started raining. We discontinued the stream, and as we were packing up, we had not packed up our tripod, but wow, yeah, so coming back to the question, so we had not packed up our tripod, and but by that time the rain stopped, so we just came back, connected our phone and the microphone and the power banks and everything, and once again we started streaming. So between the two streams it was just a 5-minute gap, but usually if we are using the Elgato capture card and the mirrorless camera, it takes us quite some time. So I would say the total setup time when we set up from nothing to ready to stream, it takes us about like 12 minutes. But if we use the Elgato card and the camera and all, it does take us quite more time. I think I would say 20 minutes, 23 minutes odd. So yes, we would, if that was the case today, we would have missed out on Jumeirah's Air Oriental Ruby livery. So yes, we stream from our phone, and yeah, that's how it is. Okay. Hey Sam, hello, hope you're doing well. So yeah, Vinny, it does seem to be like a high-tech setup. Yes, I would probably say so, because this phone that we purchased, we literally don't use it for anything else apart from streaming for YouTube. Okay, so this is literally sort of a business phone that we use it as. No phone calls, no nothing. We just use the 5G connectivity, and that's how it is. Yeah, of course, when you're using the software like Streamlabs Mobile, you're going to get some really good footage, for the very fact that Streamlabs, when you stream through their software, of course, they do, what do you say, they do enhance the bit rates and things like that in the background. So you may see there's quite a lot of latency as such. As we speak, the time that we see here is 12:08:54 seconds, and what we see on our screen is 24 seconds. So there's that delay, and most of the delay, that latency, is caused due to the fact that there's a bit of processing that is done by the software before it is sent to YouTube. So yeah, that is sort of a thing. Yes, it is a high-tech software, I would say, but is it very expensive setup? No, it is not. Is it one of those setups like most of the other channels that use some really high-tech cameras and all? No, it is not. We are using most of the basic things that we could get, but yeah, in terms of the tripod, again, I would say it's a reasonable one, not a very expensive one. But the tripod head and things like that, yes, we do prefer using a slightly bit on the expensive side, because it does make quite a lot of sense as such. So yes, I think with all the setup, it didn't really come to us directly. It took us quite some time, slowly and steadily, as we are building up the channel, and yeah, that's how it is. But yeah, I would say it's a high-tech setup. It's a bit complicated, definitely a bit dangerous in terms of our battery capacity. When I say 47,000 milliamp hours out here for us, and yeah, we were quite afraid that we could be having a fire risk last week when we dropped one of our 27,000 milliamp hour power bank to the floor, to the ground, to the road, and you know, there was a big gash on it, and then we had to wipe it down with sanitizer because, you know, there was so much of that dirt and grit. So yeah, we were a bit worried, and that's why today we stopped streaming right away as it started raining, because we didn't really want a fire hazard. But yeah, it is a high-tech setup, but definitely not an expensive one though. Hey Sam, the new airport opens in October, most likely 19th of October or 26th of October is what everyone says. That is the time frame. So a little over 5 months, I would say, from now is when the airport would open up. Alrighty, what do we have here? We have no departures, we have no arrivals, no heavies. What do we do? Yep, we are done with the peak departures of the day, peak arrivals. Nothing out here to see. Yeah, we do have the Boeing 747 of Atlas Air coming, 747-400, and that is the star. Yeah, we did read about it earlier today. It's going to be arriving in 3 to 4 minutes. So let's capture that, and once that is done, we will end the stream for today. But mind you, we may stream tonight, but we won't promise that. So please don't hold us accountable for that one. However, we will be streaming tomorrow morning, so let us see how things work out. Alright, Sydney to Adelaide, I believe the service will just continue nicely rolling on the runway because the 747 is just around the corner. Any other service that would want to depart would depart after the 747 arrives. So let us get this nice departure. Perhaps this would be the last departure of our live stream today, and then we will capture the Boeing 747-400. Hey, that was nice. Alrighty, okay, so you see now we see all of the clouds, and most likely we'll be able to spot the 747 coming in shortly. It's just 1,700 feet above, Atlas Air Boeing 747-400 cargo variant registered as N409MC, and it is 26 years old. February of 2000 is when it was manufactured. So let us get Atlas Air Boeing 747-400. Let's get ready for it, mates. Let's get ready. Hey Sam, yeah, so it's not really slow for today. What happened is we are done with all of the morning departures, peak departures and arrivals. In the morning we have a lot of those arrivals coming in, and just before 6, 2 aircraft will always arrive before the curfew ends, that is under curfew exceptions. And then exactly at 6 there'll be a lot of the aircraft arriving from anywhere and everywhere in the world. And by around, let's say 8:39 is when most of the peak departures begin as well, and they are spread out until about 12 o'clock. And that is what I did mention earlier as well. Just about 11:57 we saw all Nippon Airways, that was ANA, which is the closure. Usually ANA closes the peak departure schedule. So yes, in the afternoon it is indeed slow at Sydney Airport, and that is the reason why we usually will almost always stream in the morning, or we will stream about late afternoon to evening, because that's when, you know, the Arabic brothers, that is Etihad, Qatar Airways and Emirates, they come in. Of course, now with the war going on and stuff like that, even though there's a ceasefire in place, there's not much demand, and that's why those aircraft are still not out here for the foreseeable future. So we do believe until about June, July, August is when we would not have that aircraft. But yeah, for the morning it's been crazy. So if you actually go and check our first live stream of today, we had to have 2 live streams today because the first one we had to discontinue just because of the rain, and then we came back 5 minutes later starting off with another one. But yes, not at all slow here at Sydney. It has been super crazy busy. We have been literally standing on our feet all day since morning. We started setting up at about 5:40 a.m. this morning, and right now if you see it's 12:17 p.m. so literally almost 7 hours on our feet. Yeah, literally no time to sit. So it's that busy at Sydney Airport, and which is usually the case always in the morning. Yes, afternoon time it does get slow, and you know, this is why we will soon be ending the stream. The only thing is we are getting a Boeing 747-400 of Atlas Air that we see on the extreme right of the screen. Come on everyone, if you all are enjoying the stream, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You know, getting a 747-400 or even a 747-800 is not always a given anywhere else in the world, or perhaps, you know, it's not quite easy. We are actually capturing history with the 747-400, regardless of whether it's a passenger variant or a cargo variant. So yeah, give it up to all of us. And yes, like I was talking, Sam, it's not really busy. It is indeed very slow. If you check one of my other streams as well from, I would say, November or so, I did stream in the afternoon, and I did mention that the afternoon time, you know, if you really need to see the peak work hours, that time in the afternoon, it should be about 3 to 4. But again, you know, it's just going to die down until you get the early to late evening arrivals with the Arabic brothers, Qatar Airways, Emirates, Etihad. And then, you know, you also have quite a lot of departures. You have a lot of arrivals from Singapore. You have 2 arrivals, in fact. One is around, I would say 5 at this stage, because you're in daylight savings. We are in standard time, and it is 4. And then you have departures to Singapore as well. So yes, at this stage, this is the period when it is very quiet here at Sydney. Alrighty, let us all capture. Oh yeah, Sam, it's not easy to do the stream, but yeah, you know, we are always happy to bring all of this action to you. So yes, you know, it's really nice. And sometimes, yeah, we do get a bit tired, you know, because it's so busy in the morning, but you know, we are always happy. But here we are capturing history yet again. Atlas Air Boeing 747-400. Woohoo! I'm going to be quiet now, just listen to the engine and the thrust reverser noise. It seemed to be that they used idle thrust. There was not much noise at all whatsoever. But yes, that was it. That was it. Yeah. But yeah, thanks, Sam. Thanks for your kind words. Really appreciate it. And that's the end of our stream. If you enjoyed the stream, I'm guessing you may have just joined the stream now, but not too sure. If you joined our stream earlier and you liked it, maybe you can feel free to join us tomorrow morning on our other live stream. We will be starting to stream just before 6 tomorrow morning, just like today. And we are not sure if we will be streaming tonight, but if we do, we will you will of course get a notification and things, or maybe you can just check our channel. And yeah, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get a notification. And if we don't stream tonight, definitely we are streaming tomorrow morning, of course, weather permitting. And once again, Sam, thank you very much. In fact, thank you very much to everyone who joined us on today's live stream. It is really great that you all keep coming ever so often to our live streams and enjoy with us. So we are quite excited. We are quite happy. Thank you so much. We will leave this stream as a static stream for now, but yeah, do come to us, start streaming. So yeah, thank you very much and take care of yourselves.